That lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's
Ooh,
lured him
she's
into the rocks.
I haven't heard that term in a while.
Yes.
She's a harlot, almost.
She's
Yeah.
well, harlot's bad, right? She's just powerful.
Meghan's Netflix fairy tale just crumbled, and Joe Rogan's already serving the roast after her teary-eyed moment went viral. Joe roasted her for what he said were Oscar-worthy sobs. But was it all just for show? And did Netflix finally hit the brakes on her show? This drama's got more heat than a reality TV meltdown. Let's kick things off with the headline that's got the gossip blogs going nuts. Meghan Markle's Netflix show got canceled. And, for once, the internet might actually be right. The show dropped on March 4th, 2025, but it didn't exactly break the internet. Critics tore it apart, calling it cringy and exhausting, like watching someone try way too hard to act like a regular mom, but still giving off major celebrity diva vibes, like they're dragging a personal lighting team behind them everywhere. Jimmy Fallon even jumped in on the action, cracking jokes about why Meghan was hand-making pretzel bags. That's when the whole internet went off the rails. One viewer even joked, saying, watching her rebag pretzels was like watching the people's Martha Stewart, if Martha was having a total identity crisis and had a whole production crew tailing her around. Technically, Netflix claims the show pulled in 12.6 million viewing hours in its run, but honestly, that number doesn't mean much when the buzz is all about how bad it bombed. First week numbers are out, but let's keep it real. They're weak sauce. Especially for someone like Meghan, who swears she's one of the most talked about women in the world. Yeah, season 2's already shot, but just 'cause it's filmed doesn't mean it's ever seeing the light of day. Rumors are already buzzing that Netflix might just let the whole thing fade out quietly. No press release, no big cancellation news, just a slow ghosting like they're trying to pretend it never happened. Meghan's PR squad is out here hustling hard, pushing the message that, with love, Meghan is alive and well. But honestly, the air around this whole situation, it's smelling stale, and it's definitely not fresh focaccia. Netflix claims they greenlit Season 2 the same week Season 1 dropped, and that's cute and all. But when a show gets a rush order and still can't even trend past some random Facebook group full of bored moms, that's not a hit. That's just messy damage control. Oh, and the cherry on top? Netflix had to shut down the rumors that they were sending legal threats to a celebrity chef who shaded the show. That's how touchy and desperate this whole flop has gotten. And sure, one of Meghan's projects did get the axe. Remember Pearl, her animated vanity project from 2021? It never even made it to the finish line. Netflix quietly dumped it when they figured kid content wasn't worth the PR headaches. But let's not get it twisted. Just because they're trying to keep With Love Meghan alive doesn't mean it's safe. The show's still technically up, yeah, but it's on thin ice. Let's just say Netflix is probably sharpening the axe as we speak. But hold up, it's not as simple as it sounds. Even Pearl didn't go down without a storm. A British author came forward, saying Meghan straight up lifted the concept from her books. And when she tried to get answers, she got nothing back. Now, Meghan might not be great at handling drama, but there's one thing she's a total pro at: the tears. She popped up on Jamie Kern-Lima's show in full relatable mom mode, no makeup, with a shirt rocking her kids' names, delivering an emotional monologue. She did the whole performance. A sniffle here, a pause there, a casual tear wipe, and then dropped a line about proving you're enough. Touching? Maybe for some, but for the rest of us, it felt like déjà vu. Straight out of Meghan's go-to how to cry on camera playbook. Even body language experts jumped in, saying her blinking sped up when she started talking about Harry. And of course, the waterworks triggered a fresh round of Meghan's favorite game, the Soft Life Olympics. Let's be real. With Love, Meghan isn't just a cooking show. It's like watching a full-blown aesthetic fever dream play out. Picture this. bees buzzing around edible flower petals, slow-mo shots of tea getting poured, and Meghan twirling through her Montecito kitchen like some lifestyle guru who just discovered turmeric. And yeah, she literally wrapped up the season by whispering, "Here we go," like she's starting a business, 'cause the whole thing felt like one long infomercial for her fancy cookware line. The internet wasn't having it. Critics dragged the vibe as smug, detached, and totally tone-deaf, especially when people are out here budgeting just to buy gas. But Meghan? She's too busy microdosing wildflower honey and dreaming up fancy ceramic spoon holders. Then came the real roast. The British tabloids didn't hold back at all. The Times called the show worse than smug and syrupy, which is saying a lot. The Telegraph said it was even worse than they feared. Even the New York Post couldn't resist throwing shade, calling it beautiful but boring, vapid, and entitled. After that, the memes hit the internet like a tidal wave. TikTok blew up with parodies of her stiff hosting style, stirring tea like she's just invented fire, whispering random life advice while she's planting basil, and blinking all dramatically into thin air. If cringe were a genre with love, Meghan would be its crowned queen. And yet, believe it or not, Netflix actually announced a second season. Before we start pointing fingers at the audience, let's be real, not everyone hated it. A few celebs and think pieces were falling over themselves to defend Meghan. One op-ed even tried to twist the backlash into some kind of racist double standards disguised as critique situation. Others claimed the show was all about romanticizing the ordinary. But come on, if ordinary means dipping your fingers into imported rose salt while talking about self-care in a $14,000 designer kitchen, then we're living in two different worlds. Let's be honest, Meghan Markle's Netflix gig is barely hanging on, and Joe Rogan is out here sharpening the scissors. If you thought this was just another celebrity trying to pull off a cozy, feel-good cooking show, think again. Meghan might have left the royal palace, but she practically walked right into the line of fire. And Joe Rogan's been reloading his roast clips since day one. Let's rewind a bit. Remember when Prince Harry was still trying to be just Harry in the US? Joe wasn't having it. On the Joe Rogan Experience, he called him the Duke of Sussex, with the same sarcasm as someone mocking a guy who insists on being called Captain at a Halloween party. And don't even get started on the whole wreath situation. Harry was apparently devastated that nobody laid a wreath on his behalf at a memorial, and Joe saw it as the perfect chance to fire off some jokes. But oh, it gets juicier. Flashback to another episode, and Joe was practically spinning his own conspiracy theory about the whole drama. Joe Rogan went all in, joking that Meghan's basically the leader of a cult, and poor Harry's been taken, not romantically, but like emotionally kidnapped. Separated from his royal squad, flopped into Los Angeles, and now just kind of wandering around, friendless, while Meghan's busy building jam empires and pushing fancy pretzel bags. And if that wasn't enough, in another episode, Joe flat out called America's obsession with the royal family bizarre. He said, "How you gonna fangirl over the people whose ancestors colonized yours?" Fair point. Honestly, he was questioning why the US even jumped on the royal hype train to begin with. Meghan? She's ridden that royal wave harder than anyone, but now the tide's pulling back. And Netflix is too. Meanwhile, Meghan's been grinding on her lifestyle brand, as usual. Think home teas, fancy jams, and whatever else she can slap a cursive label on and make look bougie. Sure, it sold out in 45 minutes, but critics still called it an identity crisis. I mean, when you go from duchess to digital influencer to artisanal jam queen, people start asking questions. Even Meghan's return to Instagram turned into its own circus. On January 1st, 2025, she posted a clip of herself writing 2025 in the sand. Cute, right? Except fans noticed she filmed it, like 20 times just to get that authentically spontaneous vibe. And guess what? Comments were shut off because apparently public feedback is just too vicious to handle. Then came the disaster moment. Meghan gifting wildfire survivors a Billie Eilish t-shirt. Not supplies, not shelter. A t-shirt with a pop star's face on it. Social media exploded. People called it tone-deaf, self-serving, and straight-up embarrassing. Honestly, it felt like a deleted scene from some trashy reality show. And if you thought the circus stayed in California, think again. The royal rift is still serving front-row drama. According to insiders, Prince William apparently regrets not cutting ties with Meghan and Harry way back in 2020. Now he's gone full ghost mode, ignoring them, dodging their calls, and probably double muting the family WhatsApp. As for King Charles, he's still salty, mainly because Harry decided to air out the royal family's dirty laundry in a BBC interview. Harry even accused palace officials of putting his family in danger and asked Charles to step aside. The king's response? Radio silence. But apparently, he did call the whole mess undignified and contrary to all basic decency. Even Prince William's former right-hand guy, Jason NF, jumped into the mess, saying he's sad about the brotherly fallout. But let's be honest, this isn't just a little sibling beef. It's full-on Succession-era drama. So where's Meghan in all this? She's stuck in LA, trying to turn tea leaves into relevance. Sure, some celebs are still sipping her Kool-Aid. Even Gwyneth Paltrow said she's down to be on Meghan's cooking show, probably while microdosing on goji berries. Want to keep up with all this wild drama? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next round of jaw-dropping tea.